everyone, it's Ayozia here with an autumn junk journal. It's huge. But I had so much fun making it, and yeah, I just wanted to do a flip through of it. I'm going to list it in my Etsy shop. By the time the video's up, it will be listed. What can I tell you about this journal? It has the same number of pages as all my other journals. Roughly 120, all my other junk journals, 120 sides, so pages front and back. But the cover I've made slightly bigger. So the cover measures approximately 10 inches by 7 inches. But all the pages are A5 in size. So let's see, the cover has got this closure that's got a crochet flower. Let's see, closed it rather too well. Here we are. So the closure is made of a crocheted chain of some gorgeous thick yarn. There's a crochet flower on the front with this button that reminds me a little bit of an acorn. And then the cover is made of different fabrics sewn together. There's some knitted squares there, bit of a wool sweater, and this lovely textured fabric that reminds me a little bit of tree bark, or it's just got, or leaves, autumn leaves. It's just got that lovely texture and colours of autumn. And on the front there's a pocket that's made of a knitted square, so the pocket goes all the way down to there, and then there's some fabrics sewn on, and then this image, this is from the Graphics Fair, some autumn leaves which I've stitched on and protected with a layer of Mod Podge. And then in the pocket is a tag that's made from a scanned image of some vintage music paper, aptly named Autumn Leaves, and it's a tag so you can write on the back. Has a tab in there on the top there, and there's this fabric under there as well. So opening up the journal, it's a wraparound journal. So on the inside bit that you fold over there, there's an appliqué leaf. I love the way that feels. It feels really quilted and lovely. So I'm just going to check that we're in frame. I hope I can get the whole thing in frame. Yeah, I'm just going to check. I'll be back in a sec. Okay, so the inside cover has got this woolen fabric from a sweater there. This is, I'll get to this at the end, this is clipped on. And then there's the other side of that appliqué leaf, so I like the stitching there, and this is denim on there. And then on here is another knitted square which has got this upholstery fabric which I cut into the shape of a leaf and stitched on. And on the front inside cover is a granny square which is which I crocheted out of the same yarn that the closure and the crochet flower are made of. I really love the colours of that. And then in the pocket there are a few things. There are these cozy tags, I'm calling them. I have a tutorial actually up on my channel of how I made this. So there are 3 of these that come with the journal. There's one there, there's one there, and there's one which I clipped on the back. And again, they're made from these knitted squares, and they have a pocket on the front with a button and some stitched on fabric. And the idea really of this journal is celebrating all the things that I love about autumn: the colors, the textures, the feeling of getting cozy. And yeah, autumn is actually my favorite one of, to be honest, I love them all, but yeah, I especially love autumn just for all these reasons. Anyway, there's a tag there which has got different fabrics and textures sewn on, and you can write on the back of that, and you can also write on the back of this. But I have a tutorial up on how to make these, so that's that. And then I've included 5 envelopes to go with. There are loads of my watercolor prints in this journal. I think there's a total of about 18 in here, and they all have a little signature at the bottom. and they're like postcard size, so you can write on the back, but they do fit in these envelopes if you wanted to send one in the post or as a greeting card or whatever. So I've put 5 of the envelopes so they're matching. So that's in that pocket as well. And then because there are sometimes like soft textures that would then be quite difficult, let's say you wanted to write on this page, it's actually quite firm because that's hard. I've made a card thing, but I had to beautify it with a crochet flower and some fabric. But if you turn that over, that would then be a firm surface to write on, so you could use that, I don't know, wherever you wanted to in the journal if you needed an extra bit of support. What else do I need to say at this point? Yeah, there are loads of additions to the journal which have made it super bulky, but actually if you take out all the stuff, everything is most things are paper clipped in, so they're all removable. If you were to take out all the tags and all of this bulky stuff, you would have essentially a pretty blank canvas to make the journal your own, and you would also have loads and loads of space for the journal to grow. At the moment it's full because I've added in all the bits, but you can obviously take those out and then you could make the journal your own. So anyway, let's begin. So the first page has this fabric which I've stitched in the shape of a leaf. There's a couple of layers of fabric there, and it's reinforced with card, and it's also a tuck spot, so it has one of these, my watercolor prints of some autumn leaves there. This is some Edith Holden page. Another of my, there are just loads of my watercolor prints pertaining to autumn of some blackberries. I think I painted this last week and then scanned it in and have made that into a printable for this journal. So there's that one. And then on the other side of that is a little tag made with layers of fabric and papers, and then an image of mushrooms there. And then on this side is one of my watercolor prints of some mushrooms. I love how this turned out with the colors. So you see what I mean? You can take all of these out because I've just paper clipped them in. Lovely tea dye texture there. A bit of sweater trim I've put on there. This is a tag that I've made out of some scanned in sheet music that I have from a book of old English folk songs, the Brave Old Oaks. I was just thinking of Woodland there. It's got a tab. You can write on the back. An Edith Holden book page. A tuck spot here again with a stitched fabric made into the shape of a leaf, and another tag you can write on the back with fabrics and textured paper there, an image of a rabbit or a hare. Not sure which. I think that's a rabbit. I'm not sure. Might be a hare. Middle of the first signature, that opens out like that. Little fabric tab there. Edith Holden book page. And then this is one of my watercolors of some acorns. There's acorns there, so I thought they would be happy together there. Again, some lovely tea staining patterns there. Another of my watercolor prints of an autumn leaf. I love the colors in this one. And the tag with some paper that's got autumnal colors on it. The other side of the book page, and this is one of the images from my personal journal. I did some fabric collages, so I scanned in a couple of those and printed them out and then stitched them onto fabric, and then there's paper on the back. And the fabric, the image of the fabric here is the same fabric as is on there, so I thought that would look nice there. So that's the end of the first signature. Beginning of the second signature is one of these cozy tags, I shall call them. I love the way they feel. Actually, this is the one I made in the tutorial. So if you want to see how I made this, I'll put the link to the tutorial in the description box. Yeah, so that's that one. And it has a tag to go in there. You can write on the back of there. And you can write in the back of there. It's fluff everywhere. And then there's another of the stitched tags there with mushrooms. Another of one of my watercolor prints of mushrooms. Edith Holden book page, and this is a book page of some apples, obviously because it's seasonal, so I stitched that on there, and I like the way the stitching creates a border on the other page. Another of my watercolor prints of an autumn leaf. Another tag of some sheet music that says Through the Wood. And some of the paper clips have got yarn on the ends of them, just a few of those. A tuck spot with a stitched leaf and another stitched tag with paper on the back stitched. I like the way that turned out. A sweater fabric trim on there. Image of a mushroom. I went on a walk with Dan and I saw that it was a single mushroom, and I took a photo of it and then came home and painted it, so I made a print of that. This is an image from a vintage image of mushrooms from the Graphic Fairy, which I've stitched onto some paper with a tea bag and a bit of doily there, and that opens out like that. So that's the middle of the second signature. Another one of mine. I probably don't need to take them all off, but just give you a closer look. For Deer in Autumn. And a little journaling space with a vintage image of mushrooms and a lace trim. This is a postcard that says, let's meander and wander and maybe get lost. It's just got various woodland creatures and autumn colours there. A stitched book page with pears. Another seasonal thing, that's Edith Holden book page there. One of mine of an owl, and the other side is also one of mine of some autumn leaves, and they're both clipped onto some card. So that's the end of the second signature. The third signature begins with the lyrics of the song The Autumn Leaves Drift by my window, or The Falling Leaves, I always get that wrong. Drift by my window, of red and gold. You know this song. Anyway, the lyrics are stitched onto there, and there's a tuck spot with a leaf. I love the texture of this one. And then there's a little birdie tag nestled in its little cozy hiding place there. And again, the stitching here creates a nice border. If you were to take all the tags out, this would lie flat. Where am I? Okay, yeah, so another tag made with one of my, here we go, made with one of my watercolor images, stitched onto some paper, and there's a lovely sweater fabric, wool sweater fabric there. You can write on the back of that. And here is a collection of things. This is from a really old book that I have from 1842, I don't know, the 19th century. And it's called the Little Folks Sunday Book, and it's got these little stories, but I just like them because the images remind me of autumn, and they're also, the text is talking both about like a windy, chilly day. Anyway, I just made them into some tags with some fabric tabs at the top there. And in here's a tea dyed, there's a tea dyed envelope, and in here is another book page with a recipe for hot ale, which you have with toasted cheese apparently. These are recipes from really old, long ago, can't remember. 1854, there you go. So that's in there. So just kind of stuff about cozy days indoors when it's cold outside. It's not very cold at the moment though, I must say. It's really quite warm for autumn. It's just unusual. This is another of my watercolor images of the autumn deer. And what have I got here? Yeah, there's a tag here with a rabbit or a hare with fabric and papers, and you can write on the back of that. And here is just a little bit of my artwork peeking through there, and then there's a tuck spot in there which you could put something, not this because it doesn't fit, but something else of lace and doily. Another of my watercolor images of Mrs. Squirrel eating her nuts. And this is one of mine of a bird. I chose it really more for the color. Reminds me of autumn rather than whether it's a seasonal bird, because I really don't know. And this is sewn it into the book. It's just echoing that bird that's there. So I like that. And then another one of mine, deer. And this opens out, that's the middle of the third signature. And then on this side is a stitched tag with a mushroom on. And then that's stitched into the book, and that's one of mine, Mr. Fox. There's a tag here through the wood with a couple of bits of fabric at the top, and you can write on the back of that. Another one of mine, some birds. Again, I like the colors, very autumnal. But that must be on this other side. Again, this is a scanned in image of one of my fabric collages, and I then stitched that onto some more layers of fabric there, and that is the same sweater fabric as is on the inside cover, and this one as well. One of mine, which is stitched into the book, another tab, autumn leaves of the music, and you can write on the back, and it's got that lovely upholstery fabric at the top, almost at the end. And this is one of mine, a robin, and on the other side an autumn leaf, one of mine. And then, so that's the end of the 3 signatures, and then I just attached this. Obviously you can take it off with a clip. One of my cozy tags, again, you can write on the back. It's got the knitted square there, and it's got a pocket with various fabrics. It feels really lovely. And some yarn there, and there's a tag there that you can write on. And that is the whole journal. So you just fold that over like that. I just love all the textures. I really love this journal. And then you wrap it round a couple of times. And you can either wrap it round the button or wrap it under the flower, or just tuck the yarn into itself like that. And there you have it. That's my journal. I hope you enjoyed having a look through that with me. And yeah, check out my Etsy shop if you're interested. I have some more of these cozy journals which I'm working on. I probably will post a video about those tomorrow. And yeah, so I'll probably be back tomorrow with another video of those. But in the meantime, sending lots of love, and thanks for watching. Bye bye.